In a quiet suburban town in Massachusetts, where manicured lawns and white picket fences paint a picture of idyllic American life, a shadow loomed over one family's dream. It began subtly, an unsettling feeling that they were being watched. But soon, that feeling would take a terrifyingly tangible form, delivered right to their mailbox. This is the chilling true story of the Massachusetts Watcher Letters, a modern mystery that turned a dream home into a living nightmare. Imagine finding the perfect house. It's in a safe, friendly neighborhood, the kind of place you'd always dreamed of raising your family. For one Massachusetts family, this dream became a reality. They bought a beautiful home, filled with hope and excitement for their new chapter. They unpacked boxes, painted walls, and pictured a future filled with laughter and happy memories. But as they settled in, an invisible pair of eyes was already fixed upon them, studying their every move and waiting for the right moment to make its presence known. The piece they had so carefully built was about to be shattered. It started with a single envelope. Tucked among the bills and junk mail was a letter with no return address. The handwriting was neat, almost unnervingly so. Inside, the family found a message that sent a chill down their spine. It wasn't just a prank. It was something far more sinister. The letter welcomed them to the neighborhood, but the welcome was laced with a possessive, ominous tone. The author claimed to be a watcher, someone whose family had been tasked with observing the house for generations. The letter was just the beginning of a campaign of psychological terror. The letters grew more personal, more invasive. The watcher mentioned the family's children, referring to them as young blood. They described the family's daily routines with disturbing accuracy, what cars they drove, when they left for work, even the contractors they hired for renovations. The watcher claimed the house had a spirit, and that it was calling out for the family. Each word was a calculated move to instill fear, to make them feel exposed and powerless within their own home. The message was clear: you are not alone, and you are being watched. As the letters continued to arrive, the family's sense of security crumbled. The serene suburban nights were now filled with dread. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of leaves outside, sparked a fresh wave of panic. They started to see shadows in the periphery, a flicker of movement in a neighbor's window. Was it just their imagination, fueled by paranoia? Or was the watcher truly out there, hiding in plain sight? Their home, once a sanctuary, had become a prison of fear. The family's life transformed into a constant state of high alert. They installed a sophisticated security system, with cameras monitoring every angle of their property. Doors were triple-checked, blinds were kept drawn, and they looked at their new neighbors with suspicion. Who could be doing this? Was it someone they had spoken to? Someone who had smiled at them in the street? The psychological toll was immense. Sleep became a luxury, and the joy of their new home was replaced by an all-consuming anxiety. They were living in a real-life horror story. Desperate for help, the family turned to the police. An investigation was launched. Detectives analyzed the letters, searching for fingerprints, DNA, or any clue that could lead to the author. They interviewed neighbors and looked into the history of the property, trying to piece together the puzzle. But the watcher was clever, leaving no tangible evidence behind. The case files grew thicker, but answers remained elusive. The police were facing a phantom, an anonymous tormentor who seemed to be one step ahead. To this day, the identity of the Massachusetts watcher remains a mystery. The letters eventually stopped, but the questions they left behind linger. Who was this person? What was their motive? Were they a disgruntled neighbor, a former resident, or something else entirely? The empty mailbox became a symbol of the unresolved terror. The case is a haunting reminder that sometimes the most frightening monsters are the ones we can't see, the ones who hide behind a veil of normalcy in the quietest of towns. This chilling real-life story bears a striking resemblance to other watcher cases, most famously the one in Westfield, New Jersey, which inspired the popular Netflix series. It highlights a terrifyingly real phenomenon where the sanctity of home is violated not by force, but by a creeping psychological invasion. It proves that the deepest fears often come from the unknown, from the feeling of being observed by an unseen presence. Real horror isn't always about what's in the dark. It's about what hides in plain sight. Real stories of ordinary people caught in extraordinary nightmares are what truly stay with us. These are the real-life events that actually happened. This EerieDoseYT. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more true stories that will keep you up at night.